candles are lighted on somebody's cake, and we're all invited for somebody's sake.
I know you gonna dig this.
Get funky with me.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing today? Here I'm in Mission Hills, California, high up in the valley. Today's video is one I've been wanting to do for a long time. I've been to Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Can't even count how many times, and I've done countless videos from there about various celebrities, and I've done videos about every celebrity there, like, you know, in one video type of thing. And there's always one grave that's always hard to find for some reason. I have a mental block when it comes to it. I always have to search around the area, and it's Alfalfa's grave. So it always sticks out to me because I have to look for it hard to find it. And I'm pretty good at knowing where every grave is there. Carl Alfalfa Switzer's grave has always been hard. And what I always want to do is tell a story about how he died, because it is one of the most bizarre stories I've ever heard, somewhat. And with me is a friend of mine named Pete from the Totally 80s Room, right on YouTube and Instagram.
Yeah.
And we've been talking a lot about Alfalfa in the past half hour.
Doing some research, we learned a lot. And
yeah.
The more you learn, like the more bizarre the story
gets crazy and crazy.
Really
to bring you up to speed, our gang, also known as Little Rascals, produced by, and also known as Hal Roach's Rascals. Hal Roach was a producer in the 20s. A series of comedy short films. And they were in black and white, starring kid actors, just being kids and doing silly things.
Yeah.
Now, what's funny is, you know, we both grew up in the 80s, 90s, and all that, but don't you remember watching them, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember where I watched them.
Yeah, I remember
knowing them.
People referencing. So
yeah,
if you know, if you had like a bad haircut, somebody'd say you look like
Alfalfa. Yeah, I've heard it, Pete. Thanks. Now that I think about it, yeah.
But yeah, I do remember seeing it.
You know, Spanky, Alfalfa, Buckwheat, Darla. Like as kids, like that's in the 30s, and you know, we weren't born in the 30s. But it was prominent. It was they were around. We still watched them. I guess after school, they put together maybe like 3 or 4 of them together. I can't remember where I watched them. Yeah, I don't think kids today would know who they are.
No, I don't.
They don't play them anymore. Like they don't play the shorts anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean,
well, if you remember I remember seeing the old TV shows like, you know, the Three Stooges,
right?
And stuff like that. So,
Laurel and Hardy.
Hardy.
Yeah. So our gang was made for kids, and it was about kids. Now, Carl Alfalfa Switzer, he was simply Carl Switzer from Illinois, came out here with his family to California on vacation, and they toured Hal Roach Studios. Now, our gang was already in production, and there was a place called the Our Gang Cafe, and he went in there with his brother, and he just started performing. Wow. Like, he went into the cafe as part of a tour, like as you take a tour of Paramount or Warner Brothers, and he just started performing, and Hal Roach said, I like that kid.
Yeah.
And he signed both of the brothers. But of course, Alfalfa grew to be even bigger than Spanky and Darla. Buckwheat, he became the biggest star of our gang. And then, of course, with most things with child actors, they outgrow their roles.
Yep.
Now, he did keep working, but he had to. And we go where we are right now, we should say, is we're actually on the street of the house where he was shot. But it wasn't the first time he was ever shot.
The second time, at least the second. Yeah.
He was a bit of a brat on the set. Like I was reading all about this earlier. He was known for being a prankster, but really like mean.
A little.
Almost like
took it a little too
demonic.
far.
Like he put fish hooks in Spanky's pants. So when Spanky, Jordan McFarlane, I think is his real name, we sat down, got in his little butt, and he had to get stitches. He had Darla reach into he said he had something in his pocket for her, and he had an open knife, and she cut her hand.
Jeez.
And she cut her hand. So that, and then there was another story that there was a like a rear projection where the cast is supposed to be watching themselves in a movie, and he went behind the screen and peed on the lights. And these lights are so bright and powerful for those screens back then. If even a droplet of water would get on them, they could explode. He peed on them.
Yeah.
It
It's
exploded.
Like, I guess he's like almost like his real life character.
Yeah, like
his
yeah.
character in real
I
life.
guess he took it to method acting to a different level, but he almost blew up the studio. Like it's true. Like you can read about it. It's crazy.
Wow.
You know, so he was a little bit of a troublemaker, and that seemed to follow him in life. As we were saying, he was shot by an unknown assailant later in life. But he was working odd jobs. He was a shoe shine boy, bartender, a few other things as he got older.
Yeah. He was a hunting
guide.
Yeah.
He's fashioned himself as a hunting guide. And who was some of his clients? Henry Fonda.
Roy Rogers.
Henry Fonda, yeah. And you would think that they would know that's Alfalfa leading us around, but I mean, maybe they did.
He also got in trouble for cutting down a couple dozen
Trees.
pine trees
In
from
Sequoia?
the National Forest, intending to sell them as Christmas trees. So,
You know, I mean, you got to make. So he fell on hard times, obviously,
Yeah.
and it was trying to make do.
yeah.
So he was a really hugely successful child actor. As we see, he didn't make any money from the TV show because it was short films, but then they aired. You were telling me this.
Right.
Then they aired on TV.
Yeah.
And then
it's syndication.
the kids didn't get any money for it.
They didn't do anything like that then.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing. So, I mean, these kids walked away with probably whatever they earned for the day, and that's it.
Yep.
That's it. And this is around the time, I think it was 1939, there was a law called Coogan's Law, which is named for Jackie Coogan, a child actor, because when he turned 21, he was very successful. All of a sudden, he had no money, and he was like,
Wow.
where's all my money?
Yeah, it's kind of the same story.
Yeah.
So these are like the original.
So then they established Coogan's Law to protect child actors' money, but that was 1939. So he was started around 1932.
Yeah, so that they
when he
filmed
was
all
7.
that stuff prior to that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it's just before that. So it was no money was protected. So yeah, he struggled. And now I'm going to put the camera on Pete while we talk. Hold on one second. So we're going to tell the story of what happened. We're going to go to the house is about 4 houses down, and it's not too far from here. He was a bartender, but he was also a hunting guide.
Yeah.
As far as we know.
Bear hunting guide.
Bear hunting, yeah.
And
Okay.
He borrowed a hunting dog from an acquaintance,
Yeah.
right? And
He
then-
borrowed a dog to say, can I borrow your dog to go hunting?
Yeah.
To show people around.
Sure.
Type of thing. Yeah.
And the dog ran off,
Yep.
and so he offered a $50 reward if somebody found the dog. And somebody did find the dog.
Brought it to the bar where he was
Brought
working.
it to the bar where he worked. He paid the reward.
Yeah.
And $50 was a lot of money back then.
It's like
I don't-
500 now. It's
Yeah,
19
at
was
least.
1959 we said? It was 1959 when
Yeah.
this happened.
Yes, that's a
Yeah.
lot of money. And then somehow he
Well, he got drunk one night and came up with a scheme that he said the owner who he borrowed the dog from, who he lost, his dog,
Right.
the owner should pay him the $50 back.
pay him, reimburse him for the.
Which, okay, somewhat kind of, I can see his logic, but the logic is you went ahead and gave the reward, like said, I'm giving a reward
Yeah, the dog ran off.
on your watch,
Yeah.
and you're saying I'm going to give a reward. Now you're angry that you offer the reward? I mean, it's a little odd.
He went to go collect.
He went to go collect, and he unfortunately collected a lot more than he bargained for. Sorry, we got interrupted by a delivery driver. They're asking if we knew the proper address for that, another house.
hungry.
It made us hungry. So he went to the gentleman's home, who was
Stilts.
Moses Bud Stilts, right?
Right. Correct.
He took a friend of his named Jack with him, and he said, we're going to collect the money this
Right.
guy owes me. So he banged on the door in the middle of the night, and somebody answered the door, but I guess there was a screener because he flashed a badge and said,
Yeah, he
let us in type of thing.
flashed a fake
Police badge. Fake police badge, which is so bizarre. Like,
Just a weird scenario.
the
whole
more
thing.
we read like 3 or 4 different articles about this, and it's like, well, wouldn't his friend know it's him? Why is he
Yeah.
flashing a badge?
And then they entered the home.
Alcohol was, I mean, like I said,
Yeah.
was involved, but it's definitely involved because none of it makes.
Yeah.
So it says the thought process
Yeah.
of somebody doing something like this.
He then entered the home.
Yeah.
And then they got into a fight. somebody got hit over the head with a clock.
Yeah, they said it was a clock or like a beam. They weren't even sure what he hit him over the head with. Right?
Yeah.
We were laughing at that kind of because
Yeah.
they were like, it was a clock or something.
And the Stilts family was home.
Right.
With the kids.
Yeah, it's craziness. Let's walk over. Yeah, while we're talking. Yeah.
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 And,
He pulled out a knife.
a knife, pocket knife.
Well, first they said it was the
Hunting
Stilts guy
knife.
said it was a hunting knife.
Yeah. In which it was actual.
Yeah.
It was actually a pocket knife, which they found out later. And they found underneath them, and it wasn't open.
Right, and the Stilts guy ran into the bedroom, bloodied and battered.
But there was no doubt a fight, and
came out
guy's
with a
family's
pistol.
Home, and so he came out of the bedroom with a
pistol.
pistol.
And then they fought over it.
And then they fought.
I want to
over
know
the
what
gun.
his buddy Jack was doing during all of this.
I don't know.
You know, he's just standing there like,
Right.
what the hell? I'm here with Alfalfa, and he's fighting this guy over a gun. Like, it's a lot more. This is more than a night out. This is not what I.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe
Like,
he was the driver. Who knows?
we're somewhat, we're not laughing
No,
at
it's
the
quite
side.
a story.
It's just
It's
a
a
wild
wild-
story, and
yeah.
when you dig more into it, it's just
it's just crazier.
There's humorous elements to it,
Yeah.
but it's very sad because
Yeah.
Someone died. But it is kind
A
of
lot
just
of it
what
doesn't make sense. Yeah.
it doesn't like. I always knew that Alfalfa was killed, but you never really knew the story and this is what happened. So anyway, the guy shot him.
Yeah.
Because apparently Alfalfa lunged at him. Carl Switzer lunged at him with the knife.
Yeah.
Now he says it was a hunting knife, which is, as you said, a pocket knife that was still folded and closed.
Right.
But he shot him in the abdomen,
Yep.
and he died on the way to the hospital.
Yeah.
And he was also, fun fact before I forget, he had a bit part in 10 Commandments, directed by Cecil B. DeMille,
Yeah. Which
and who died on the same day as Carl Switzer.
the same day.
Same day, and
He didn't get any cover. That.
totally erased the cover of the news
Yeah.
coverage because Cecil B. DeMille was such a huge star.
Yeah.
So we'll walk up here, but this is the house where it happened. We've got a few houses to go up, but he had a role in something, a Stanley Kramer film. Apparently, he had a good. It's a good part.
Oh wow.
And he could have had a comeback,
right.
and then
Well, what we read is that his life was a series of kind of
mishaps.
story and bad timing.
Yeah.
Just story after story.
Yeah, he just kept exactly. That's a really good way to put it. Just one after another, things just happened to this guy. But it seems like, from everything I read as a kid, like we all did stupid stuff as kids. I mean, playing pranks, doing practical jokes on each other, whatever. But it seemed like it kind of this chaotic childhood he had carried on.
Yeah.
I mean, child actors sometimes, as we know,
Kind of, I guess.
it can kind of mess you up, maybe.
The original ones, yeah.
Yeah, but right up here is the house where it all happened. And you can hear this, the quietness of this little tiny street and what actually went down here. So Pete, there's the house right there. We're gonna walk around and come back on the other side. But that's the house right there where it all went down.
Wow.
The former home of Moses Bud Stilts. Thank you. I want to say Spitzer. And because we were doing a video earlier today of someone else, and the last name was Spitzer, and then I got Switzer, Carl Switzer, and then we got Stilts. It's getting confusing. all these names, but that's the house right there. We're gonna walk around and show you a little closer. Okay, so we'll just turn around here. Yeah. Oh, Jesus! Hello. Hi. One of them maybe looks like Petey. Oh my goodness. I know. Hey, Petey, what's up, buddy? And isn't it interesting? We'll talk about it when we're at the grave, but there's a picture of a dog on the grave.
Yeah, that was
another weird thing.
Unfortunate. Yeah, kind of. So it was supposed to portray Petey, the famous dog, was part of his character.
Right.
But the dog actually looks a lot like a hunting
Right.
dog.
But I've also, as we were talking, I read the opposite. I read it's supposed to be a hunting dog, but people think it's Petey. Who knows? But Petey had the one eye with the black circle around it, right?
Yeah,
so I don't know.
The more you read,
yeah,
the strange. I mean, the strange.
You can,
everything gets.
Like, it was one of those stories when you and I read it. I kept wanting to read more. I was like, I want to find out more and more about this guy.
Just keeps going.
Yeah. So we'll walk back down and get a better shot of the house here, and then we're gonna go visit Carl Switzer's final resting place. Yeah, beautiful orange trees here.
I've ever seen an orange tree.
Yeah. And here's the house right here, where it all went down.
So they would have parked probably right out front.
Yeah, parked somewhere around here.
Yeah, and then there's the front door.
And then we got these guys still watching us. Yeah, the front door is right there.
Yeah.
That's where it all happened. And this house,
These houses are very
well tended to and
Oh, yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah, and there's not a lot. I mean, they're very era appropriate. You know,
Yeah.
so it's not a lot has changed.
No.
It's a house that's a lot like it is.
There it is. So there we go. I think we discussed the story of what happened to him,
Yeah.
and that's it's late in the day, so we'll have to visit Alfalfa. I don't think he was going fast enough.
Yeah. That's
Jeez. We are going to go tomorrow or the next day and visit Alfalfa and pay our respects. All right, Pete, so we made it to Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Your first time here.
first time.
Right?
Here. Yep.
Yeah, this is a place I come to quite a lot. And like I think I did mention, I always have a bit of a Alfalfa Switzer is right off the side of the road here, one of the main roads going through Hollywood Forever. I always have a hard time finding it for some reason. I can point out any grave here.
It's a big place.
It's a big place, but I can point out so many different ones easily. But every time I drive by, I'm like, where is it again? But it's right around here, so we're going to pay our respects right
I'll
now.
follow you.
Yeah. Okay, that wasn't so hard. Yeah, it's with
Oh.
the flowers here.
Oh wow. Yep.
We got some stuff out for him. Beloved father, son, and brother, Carl Alfalfa Switzer, August 7th, 1927 to January 21st, 1959.
Photograph.
Yeah, there he is. I believe that is him and his brother. So that would be, yeah, I think so. So yes, so this is Alfalfa here. This is the father, and this is his brother who I mentioned earlier. And there's a photo of them right there. Somebody left here. It's his beloved father and grandfather. Little cleanup here. Looks like a gas tank. Does that look like a gas tank to you?
Yeah, it's gas pump. Yeah.
Huh. Clean this off a little bit. It's very muddy. It's been raining today. In memory of Harold F. Switzer, 1960 something. But yeah, right here. So look for these three bushes, side by side, off the main road here, coming from the main mausoleum toward Judy Garland's grave. And here he is. So we told the story.
Yeah.
I think we did. We filmed that 2 days ago now.
Yeah.
2 days apart. We had to take to get down here.
Very interesting.
Yeah, to say the
Story,
least. Yeah. Looks like his brother didn't live much longer than him. But his father died after him. That's always sad to see. All right, there it is. All right, Pete, thanks for coming along, man.
Yeah.
Alfalfa, our gang, Little Rascals, right there. Crazy story.
Yeah.
Crazy story. Hope he's resting in peace. All right, thanks, man. Peace. And rest in peace to the other Switzers here as well. And the mother, she's obviously passed away by this point. No burial details, so nobody knows. Somebody knows, but I don't. They're unknown to the public. Peace out.